Right now, something is happening that you may not yet see with your eyes, but you can already feel it in your body. A quiet movement beneath the surface of your life, invisible, yet unstoppable. At some point, you stopped living in survival mode and began stepping into the mode of the creator. When your inner state changes, your signal changes. And when your signal changes, the world begins to respond differently. You may not yet see all the signs, but they are already taking shape behind the curtain of ordinary reality. Life rarely announces its blessings in advance. It rearranges itself in silence. What you used to call a delay was very often not a refusal. It was preparation. It was the time when your body was unlearning the past and your awareness was learning a new future. Every closed door was not a punishment, it was a rerouting. Not because you were denied, but because you were being aligned. Understand this. The outer world does not respond to your efforts the way it responds to your state of being. The universe, or if you prefer, the quantum field of possibilities, does not answer requests that come from lack. It answers who you are becoming. The moment something inside you flipped, when you stopped doubting and started knowing, when you stopped waiting and started radiating, creation was already set in motion. You have entered alignment with what was always available to you. That is why right now you feel the energy has shifted. Not because the world suddenly became kinder, but because you are no longer broadcasting the same old signal of the past. You have stepped out of inner struggle, and in that place, resistance turns into flow. Life stops feeling like a battle because the real victory always begins inside. When you change your inner state, when you become bigger than your body, bigger than old emotions, bigger than familiar reactions, reality starts catching up to that decision. The shift is not approaching, it has already begun, and you are already inside it. You used to look at pauses as failure, as silence where nothing was happening. But if you are truly creating a new life, first your inner architecture must change. Your body must stop being the mind of the past. Your habitual emotions must stop dictating your future. That is why what looked like a standstill was often the most precise stage of the entire process. Every moment you stayed true to yourself, even when nothing moved on the outside, was a moment you were training to be a new human being without any confirmation. That is rare mastery. Most people only believe once they receive proof. The Creator believes before it becomes visible. The Creator holds the inner reality steady while the outer world catches up. A delay is very often not "it hasn't come yet." More often it is "you are not yet matched," not matched in state, in purity, in inner readiness. You could want the result, yet still live inside the emotion of waiting. You could speak about blessings, yet inside remain in need. Then it's as if you were pressing the gas while simultaneously holding the brake. But when you changed inside, when you stopped asking from tension and began thanking from completion, everything fell into place. Gratitude in the present tense is the state in which the body already experiences the future as already happened. When the body believes, the mind becomes clear, and then you stop radiating lack. You stop sending the signal, "not yet." You begin sending the signal, "already is." Every closed door was not defeat, it was protection. Not because something wasn't meant for you, but because you might have taken it too early from the old version of yourself. Then you either wouldn't have held it, or would have settled for less, or would have acted from fear and control. Reality never answers words, it answers state. What felt late was actually perfectly timed. You weren't being slowed down, you were being synchronized. Time, people, circumstances were being rearranged so your next step would not just be a breakthrough, but a breakthrough that stays with you. So that when the door opens, you walk through it not as the old you, but as the one capable of carrying what you once asked for. And if right now you feel resistance softening, events flowing more gently, possibilities appearing as if by themselves. This is not magic or chance. This is the law of alignment. You stopped pushing life and started becoming its cause. The shift is already underway. The timing that once seemed unfair now reveals itself as wisdom. Your outer world is lining up with your inner faith. What you could only imagine in silence is beginning to take physical form. Even if your eyes don't see it clearly yet, you already know the vibration of your life has changed. The moment your inner conviction moved from doubt to faith, from hope to knowing, you stopped being an observer and became the source. Your body and your mind began telling the world the same message. That is coherence. That is the state when you are whole, when your signal becomes powerful. The world you see is the shadow of the world you hold inside your consciousness. You don't change the shadow by hitting it. You change the light that casts it. You change the cause. And when the cause changes, the effect has no choice but to follow. So stay steady, stay certain. You don't need to chase, force, or prove anything. Your only task is to remain coherent, to remain aligned, to trust the invisible process not as a beautiful idea, but as the reality you are already living in, because the outer world is only the echo of your inner song. The shift is not some future event. The shift is a decision that has already been made inside you. And once it is made, reality has only one path left: to catch up to you. You may not yet hold proof in your hands, but you already hold the most important thing, the state from which all proof is born. And that means behind the curtain, everything is already arranged. The right synchronicities are already in motion. The meetings, conversations, offers, ideas, solutions are already forming, and they will arrive at the most precise moment and unfold so naturally that you will wonder how it could have ever been any other way. So stop treating this as hope. Treat it as fact. The shift is moving, and the calmer you remain inside, the faster everything becomes clear outside. Not because you are speeding up the world, but because you have stopped getting in its way. Stay in this feeling. Everything is coming together. Everything is aligning. Everything is already organized. And when old thoughts try to pull you back into worry, just remember, that is the voice of the past, not the voice of your future. Your path is already open. Your time has already come. Now simply watch how gently and easily life begins to unfold when the shift becomes your new normal.